Hi guys, there is a lot of fear in the world today. If you're living in today's world, put on the news, listen to CNN, listen to French 24, or whatever news channel you listen to. There is no 5 minutes that you will not hear bad news. You will not hear news that will bring fear into your life. Even Christians today, they live in fear. We're in 2021. If it's not your health, COVID-19, it is a pestilence somewhere. If it's not an outside problem, it is a family problem. Everything around you tends to make you want to live in fear. But today, as long as you watch this video to the end, I am going to show you as a Christian how you can live above fear. The secret of God's protection lies in Psalm 91. Yes, before you say, oh, I know Psalm 91. Have you ever looked at the conditions attached for you to access the protection? Yes, God's salvation is free. But for you to understand and also access the blessings that comes with God's salvation, you need to fulfill conditions. And that is the area that people are not looking at. Christians do not look at. What does Psalm 91 say? Let's read Psalm 91 verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Ability to be under God's shadow is tied up with your dwelling in God's secret place. What does it mean to dwell in God's secret place? See, the word dwell in Hebrew means yesha. I looked at it. Yesha stands for sitting down, settling, remaining, inhabiting. So, for you to enjoy God's protection, you need to find God's secret place. And the reason that word is secret means that it is not something that everybody is aware of. It is not something that is open. A secret thing is something that is hidden. That is why, Lord, it is written in the Bible that wide is the path that leads to death, and many go through it. But narrow is the path that leads to life. It's only but a few that find it. Anything secret is something you need to put in effort to find. You want to enjoy God's protection according to Psalm 91 verse 1. Find God's secret place. For you to enjoy all the blessings of Psalm 91 from verses 1 to 3. I've written it just beside me. The blessings of verses 1 to 3. There are two conditions. Number 1, abide in the secret place of God. Then number 2, verses 4b. If you look at it, his truth shall be thy shield and buckler. This same truth thing is repeated in Ephesians chapter 6 when they are talking of putting on the whole armors of God. If you look at Ephesians chapter 6 verse 14, it says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. A breastplate protects you. And then, Having your loins girded about by truth. What does it mean? It simply means that your loins is your powerhouse. Whatever you do with your strength, in your place of work, whatever you are doing, let it be guided by God's truth. That is where protection lies. Whatever they're doing in your office, irrespective of how many people that are doing it, if your mind is against it, if it is against God's truth that you know, please stand alone. Do away from it. No matter what it will cost you. Stand for that truth. Don't compromise. It is so important because it is tied to protection. When you live according to God's truth and you have the breastplate of righteousness, all the blessings of Psalm 91 from verse 5 to verse 8 is yours. I'm going to read it quickly. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at your side, and 10,000 beside you. It will not come near you. You will only look and see the destruction of the wicked. All those blessings, you can only get it if you walk and live your life according to God's truth. Verse 9 is another condition you need to also enjoy all the blessings that comes after verse 9 of Psalm 91. And verse 9 says, because thou hast made the Lord, which is thy refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Where do you go to when you have a challenge? If you have a challenge today, if you have a problem today that is causing you fear, where do you go to first? In your mind. Is it your money? Is it the fact that you have protectors in your house? Is it the dogs you have in your house? Or is it a big man somewhere that has money? Maybe your uncle or your father's friend that you run to first. If those are the people you run to, that is your refuge. Change it. If you want to enjoy the benefits that come after verse 9 of Psalm 91, make God your refuge. Let him be the first person you think of when there's a challenge. Not with your mouth. In your heart, let him be the very first you go to when you have a challenge. When you have done that, the blessings that come, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come near your dwelling. Just by making God your refuge and your habitation. For the Lord shall give his angels charge over you, to keep thee in all your ways. If you're leaving your house to your office, or your house to the market, or your house to anywhere you want to go to, angels are on guard round about you. Why? Because the Lord is your number one that you go to when you have a challenge. The last condition is verse 14. Psalm 91 verse 14, and I'm going to read it. Because he has set his love upon me. Blessings. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. The last one, the last verse. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That last verse is fantastic. With long life will God satisfy you Why? Because you have set your love upon him. What does it mean to set your love upon God? It simply means that whatever you do as a Christian, for anybody, let it be from a point of love. Not from a point of making sure that the person will do it back to you. You know, sometimes we hear these words when somebody offends us. We say, upon everything I've done for you, you do this back to me? God doesn't expect you to do things to somebody because you expect that person to do something good back to you. You do it from a point of love for God and from a point of God's love for human. Let the intentions for doing good as a Christian be because of love. And that is how the other blessings that come, Psalm 91, will follow you. There are only 5. I think I've mentioned 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 conditions to fulfill in Psalm 91. And you have all the protective blessings automatically come to you. In summary, let me just summarize the 4. Find God's secret place and stay there. Don't let anything shift you from it. Find it first. When you find it, please stay there. Number 2, walk in his truth in whatever you do, in whatever decisions you take, in your place of work. Please walk in God's truth. Let God's righteousness be your breastplate. Number 3, make God your refuge. Let him be the very first person you run to when there's a challenge or when you're in trouble. And then the last one, do things from a point of loving God, not a point of expecting something good back in return. Thank you so much for listening to the end. Just try these things. Go back and read Psalm 91 again. Don't be just talking it. It is not a charm, like some people do. They feel that if they start saying, oh, because I dwell in the secret place of the Most High God, I will abide under the shadow of the Almighty. It doesn't work like that. Keep all the things that is in the Psalm, the conditions that are in the Psalms, and then sit back and see how all the protective powers of Psalm 91 will locate you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time on Christianity 247.